Oh, this is exciting. Okay, here we go.
Hi, this is Elira Pandora. Thank you for taking the time to listen to us today.
What are you talking about?
Fox and Ike are also present here with me, and we would like to take some time to address the events surrounding Zelentatsuki's contract termination.
Why?
Hi, everyone.
Hello.
To preface, we have discussed with AnyColor staff and our legal team about what we are able to say. However, due to how sensitive the situation is, please do keep in mind that there are limits to what we're able to share. Both we, the
Well, I mean, like, shouldn't you probably try and talk to the girl before you release her personal information? Like, I don't know. I mean, what do I know, right?
And the company have been affected deeply and are taking the situation very seriously.
Okay.
Everything that'll be discussed has been approved by our lawyers or is based solely on our personal experiences. Before anything is discussed, there is something very important that we, NIJISANJI En, feels need to be made very clear.
What is it?
All of us do not condone harassment of any kind to any of the parties involved. After discussion with the members of NIJISANJI En as a collective, I volunteered for my channel to be used for this stream. Additionally,
yeah, like, I mean, you might not condemn harassment, but, like, you know that if you make a tweet condemning a person whenever you have an audience of people that are, like, really, you know, really invested and care about the brand a lot, you know people are going to get upset about it. Like, I hate this, like, oh, like, that's why I almost never say that I condemn harassment. Like, it's obvious. Like, it's like you can't criticize somebody, you can't talk about anything without having some freak on the internet getting mad about it and then using it as a weapon for their own personal agenda that probably has nothing to do with what you even said. They're just, like, happy that, like, oh, thank God, now I have ammunition for this gun that I've wanted to use. So it's got nothing to do, and this goes for them, it goes for Doki Bird, it goes for all of it. Like, this is just, it's such a fucking cop-out, because, like, if you post criticism about another person online, here, let me be very fucking clear. If I, like, I am going, whenever I like, put this video out, this person's gonna get harassed. They will. That's what's gonna happen. And if they make a response to me, I will get harassed. That's the way it goes.
we've been told that there will also be a video releasing regarding the situation from Tazumiii-san directly a few hours following this stream. But what we say on this stream is our own words and our own feelings.
Are we done?
I would like to first apologize if my silence on the matter has caused any worry.
Oh God, holy fuck.
Over the past month, staff received documents from the Len's lawyer containing examples of her claimed experiences under AnyColor. These documents in question included personal information of some livers, and when it was sent to us, we learned that there was a potential that this information could be made public. Some of the information poses a risk to our personal safety and puts some of us at risk of doxing. Notably, one section of this document alludes to where Millie and I live. However, there are also harmful claims Selen made in the document about some livers' personal information.
So did Selen... Wait, so did she release a document that showed their, like, their, what do you call it? Their addresses? Well, then what the hell are they talking about this for? Like, I don't, like, what the fuck? Because, yeah, I never saw her do that.
That we believe are simply untrue. I felt threatened and scared of speaking out about the situation because of the risk that it could pose to not just my own safety, but the safety of those around me as well. I'm very sad that this is how everything had to turn out, and I deeply apologize to all the fans who have been affected through this time. When Selene had posted the tweet about her cover being privated, several EN members reached out to Selene, and we expressed our concerns.
Her cover being privated. This is VTuber lingo that I might not be entirely familiar with. What does that mean? Oh, okay. So it's a mute. Okay, so it's not something that's crazy. It's just a cover of a song. Okay, got it.
We were genuinely concerned, and we wanted to understand the situation, as we were all in the dark about it.
Yeah, got it.
Once she notified all of us regarding her hospitalization, we immediately reached out to her, each other, and her manager to confirm her safety.
How kind.
Her manager also immediately reached out to her and her emergency contact, and kept us updated throughout the entire situation as well.
Is that right?
It's been a very tough time for a lot of us.
So why did they private the video? She paid for the cover, uploaded, they got mad, she got sad. That's a super. Why'd they private the cover? It's coming up? Okay, thank God.
I'm honestly not sure what else to say, but thank you again for everything, for waiting, and thank you.
I'll read the chat. You guys can watch it with the chat.
Thanks, Elira.
No,
you're
no
right.
worries.
Yeah, it has been a really, really tough time, and it's had an effect. I've noticed it's had an effect on everyone. It's had an effect on me too. So I'm joining this stream to talk about my experiences with Selene, to lend some of what I know to help you all understand the context of this a little bit better. I know that a lot of you watching are going to have your own views and opinions on the situation, and so all I would like to ask is that you can take the information that I'm going to present at face value, if you can. So, this recent situation...
In my opinion, I think that taking things at face value is a bad idea. I think that asking, like, what are you really saying? You're saying, like, please just accept what I'm saying. Why would anybody accept what you're saying? Like, that's like, that, I don't know. I mean, like, it's like, I mean, you can go through and, like, maybe it's not really that bad of a way to say it, but it's not that good of a way to say it either, right? I mean, I don't know.
Began when Selene claimed on Twitter that her most recent song cover had been made private by staff.
Okay, yeah.
And she gave no context or reasoning as to why.
Why?
In actuality, she had been asked to send the content of her music video to her manager in advance of the release date so it could be checked for content, etc., which is something that all livers agree to do.
Cover video check. Hi, Selene. Thanks for the late reply. Since the video includes ex-livers, it will be time for me to get confirmation the audio is okay to me. Management has privated the song. Feel free to upload. The video is set to private until I got confirmation. So, okay. So, all right.
Her manager communicated with her about this very clearly, but she released her cover without giving management time to check it, and as a result, it needed to be made private. It was going to be made public again once the checks had cleared. Management absolutely intended to let her release the cover once they'd made sure that it was okay to release. It's very important to establish this pattern of events had happened before on multiple occasions, including her Fall Guys tournament in August of 2023, a voice pack in May of the same year.
36 hours to check? No, I don't think that 36 hours to check is really that unreasonable, because the reason why is that if they were using ex-livers, they would probably have to look into making sure with a legal team that they still have the legal rights to use that IP. It took a year. Oh, yeah, they do. I know. That's what... Yeah, but I know that they own the IP, but there's probably a legal team that they need to consult to be certain of that. Like, these companies are very... And like, also, like, I'm being as generous as possible, Like, I try to understand where people are coming from. Like, I don't think that like a 36-hour window between like getting the information and then checking it, I don't think this is not like a red flag. Who knows why that would happen? It could have been 15 different things.
Outfit contest also in May. In each of these situations, Selene would be working on one of the projects I mentioned. She'd be given clear communication about confirming certain aspects with staff, as all other livers receive and comply with. And each time, she would refuse to cooperate. And when staff would react appropriately, she would make public statements that would hurt Any Color's reputation. And as these situations kept occurring, myself and other livers felt very upset and anxious. We felt that these statements harmed all of us as a group.
So, like, it took a year for this to get confirmed? We're at 5:55. Let me see if I can go back. So... It took a year. Well, I don't see this being a year. This is Christmas Eve. This is December 24th. So where are we seeing it be a year? Someone's lawyer sent a closed document of NIJISANJI's management. For some reason, a management sent that to the other livers. The whole project took a year. I see. Lily Pichu said she gave permission a year ago.
Excuse me. So, it's this context that I hope explains why myself and some other livers decided to approach Selene and ask about her handling of the latest situation, which was her cover being made private. So some livers, myself included, asked Selene why she tweeted about the cover in the way that she did, expressing that we felt it was unnecessary and harmful. According to Selene's lawyer, it's this event that they claim to be a build-up of, and what they claim to be a build-up of past experiences that led to accusations made by Selene that she was bullied and harassed. As you can imagine, this is incredibly serious, and I want to state that throughout my friendship with Selene, I did my best to support her in private and talk to her about any problems she might have been having whenever I had the chance. Having thoroughly reviewed the documents sent to Any Color by her lawyer, and based on what I know personally and have been told by Selene as her friend, myself and other members vehemently believe these claims to be completely untrue. I feel very confident in saying that the way I and other livers communicated with Selene about this incident was fair and reasonable, especially considering our built-up anxiety over this repeating pattern of behavior. In my opinion,
Can't they just post the DMs? That's illegal? They got no receipts? Yeah, I mean, because, yeah. So he reviewed a document that he wasn't supposed to see? They could? They already broke NDA? Yeah. Trust me. Yeah, I mean, like, I'm not gonna... Because, I mean, NIJISANJI had other problems before this, too, right? Like, whenever I looked into this the first time, like, they had been involved in drama related to this before. So it's like, I don't know, man. Like, this is the same thing that keeps happening.
Not think that it was a form of harassment. Also, in the document given to Any Color by Selene's lawyer, it stated that Selene had secretly recorded me in a private voice call without my knowledge or consent.
Okay.
I have absolutely zero memory of what I might have specifically said in that recording, but we know it was on the topic of the tweet that I had made around the time of AR Live's cancellation last year.
Okay.
From what I know, based on this document, Selene had wanted to use this...
It's legal in Canada. No, I mean, like, we can talk about legal, but, like, I think it is shady to record somebody without them knowing. I do think so. And, like, there are... But, like, the reality is that, like, that's true, but it's also not true. Because, like, it is very shady to record somebody without them knowing. But at the same time, if the person won't communicate with you in text and will only do it over voice because they're afraid of being recorded with text, then I would do the same thing. Because if you think the person's being shady and then you record them, like, yeah, of course. But it is definitely shady to do, and it is deceptive to record somebody without their consent. Like, fucking obviously. Like, what are we even talking about?
As proof of staff.
It's not about, like, I don't care whether it's illegal or not. Like, who gives a fuck about the law? Oh, wow, the law said this. Who gives a fuck? The law said weed is illegal. Am I supposed to care? No. Just a bunch of old fucks with erectile dysfunction wrote up a bunch of rules that everybody has to follow. And yeah, you have to follow the law. You do. But that doesn't mean you need to base your morality off of it. I respect the law. I follow the law. But I don't fucking agree with it all the time.
Showing favoritism for some members over others, as at the time I wasn't reprimanded by staff having made that tweet. I followed this issue up with my managers, and I was told that they didn't reach out because they didn't want to cause further controversy at the time. However, I've been asked to delete other tweets on multiple occasions when I've accidentally broken a rule. In these cases, we're politely informed that when we should avoid tweeting something, we apologize, delete it, and move on. The real issue here, however, is that someone I trusted and considered a friend not only recorded me in secret, but also that these recordings were held without my knowledge for almost an entire year.
Well, I mean, like, what do you mean this is two different things? How can somebody hold a recording? How can somebody record you if they don't hold the recording? Like, don't act like this is two separate things. It's one thing. Like, I mean, really, I mean, that's what the fuck, right? Now, in terms of deleting the tweets and everything, I have said multiple times on multiple occasions that I find it to be very unsettling the level of control that some of these VTuber agencies exercise over their talent. I think that this is an overreach of what a person's autonomy should be. I find it to be unhealthy. I understand that they have, you know, whether this is idol culture, just simply a different culture, or a place that I don't understand. Like, I think it's also bad when record companies do it here. Like, there's not like, this isn't like a, oh, me being xenophobic against some, this is a Japanese company or something. No, it's bad everywhere. This is just generally bad. Whenever you sign your life away to a company and they exercise the right to use that, I think this is very unhealthy. It's very, very unhealthy.
The fact that this was held throughout our friendship is...
Or they agree to it? Oh, yes, you're right. And they do agree to it, and people should have accountability for what they agree to. But in the same way that I like, for example, like, I think credit cards are parasitic. I think credit card companies are just total fucking parasites. I think it's unhealthy. It's bad for way more people than it's good for. And how do you know that? Because the people that run the companies are billionaires. How did they become billionaires? I wonder. So anyway, like, how does a credit card company make any fucking money? So I do think that these people are parasites. However, you're right that people should exercise their own discretion in signing a contract, and they also bear responsibility for it. You're totally right.
Thing to me. Until now, I had always looked up to Selene as my senpai, and I felt really lucky to be her friend. Having to talk about this now and seeing how this has played out is, again, heartbreaking. Selena told me privately about her disagreements with staff and her managers, and I had done my best to support her and to help her make what I thought were the right choices, even when she talked about wanting to graduate. For context...
This is also another point a guy in chat brings up. I think this is a really smart thing to say. And somebody says not everyone is a contract lawyer. It's hard for a layman to understand everything they're agreeing to. This is incredibly true. And it is, I mean, there are, like, again, even lawyers, it's not a lawyer, it's a contract lawyer. Like, that's how deep this is. So, of course, this is what's going to happen, because a person who doesn't understand it, they think that they're getting one thing, then they get something else out of it. Now, should they consult with a lawyer? Yes. But sometimes a lawyer doesn't communicate it in a way that's understandable for them. Sometimes these things just happen. Like, it's not necessarily somebody's fault. And it's like, yeah, you did sign a contract, but there are also contracts that are intentionally deceptive. A lot of stuff like that. I mean, it's just, I think it's very, like, you have to really get down into the nitty gritty to figure out, like, who really has, and this is the important thing to me, who really has what is malicious intent. Who is trying to go into this situation with the intent and goal of taking advantage of and harming the other person. Because I think that usually that's really who's in the wrong.
Leaving NIJISANJI is always an option for livers. If she had wanted to graduate beforehand, she was given very many chances to do so amicably. And on multiple occasions, Selene had told us she planned on graduating, but would then go back on this shortly after.
Well, yeah, I think a lot of people do that. Somebody should not be scared. You should not be scared of being recorded if you're not harassing people in calls. I think that it would be very unsettling if every conversation, like, I would guarantee you that probably every work-related every conversation that you had with a person that you met through work was recorded. I bet one of those conversations could be used against you in a very bad way. Absolutely. I think this is only an opinion that a person can have, like, without actually thinking about the opinion. Of course it's bad. Recording people is always bad. I understand why you do it, and I would record somebody if I thought that they were trying to fuck me over too. But it is a bad thing. But I've said before, an eye for an eye, right? If you think somebody's trying to fucking snake you, I'd record their ass in a second. Absolutely.
For example, she told me that she would be graduating on the day we hosted the Prism Cup, but as you know, this didn't happen. She also, after being warned by staff due to her repeated rule breakages in May of last year, told other livers that she was being terminated at that time, when, like I said, she had just been warned, nothing else.
Yeah.
Because I trusted her so much, and I listened to her narrative of half-thought untruths about her relationship with Anycolor, this caused me so much anger on her behalf.
I feel like you can't just say her relationship with half untruths with Anycolor. Like, what are they? Like, are we supposed to just kind of... This is what a lot of people do whenever they try to tell a persuasive story, is they just kind of like, they're like, oh yeah, and also all this other evidence, or oh, also these other lies, and also this other stuff. It's like, I always try to stop people whenever they do that if I'm talking to them. This is like what happened, remember the Tectone thing? Like, this happened a lot there, where it's like, wait a second, what do you mean by that? Where are the receipts? Because usually, I bet if you asked this person in real time, they wouldn't have the receipts and they wouldn't have any examples. Because what they're doing is they're trying to create a foundation that doesn't exist. So it's like it's like, okay, give me an example of this. Well, it's just all the time. Well, okay, then like once? Well, I don't know. Okay, so then it's not real. They're trying to control the narrative. Yeah, they're creating a foundation to build a narrative. He said already face value. Well, yeah, but I mean, like, I'm not going to take anything anybody says at face value. Why would you take something that somebody says at face value? You should especially not take things that people say at face value whenever it's beneficial for them. It's beneficial for them that you take it at face value. So that would be the exact reason why I wouldn't. Because it's in their best interest to lie.
had considered graduating with her in solidarity. Seriously. And I now know that my intense feelings at the time came from omitted context and falsehoods. And that, once again, is heartbreaking. I'm incredibly happy with my job, and even in the face of times as hard as these, I really wouldn't want it any other. Came from omitted context and falsehoods. And that, once again, is heartbreaking.
Citation needed. This is another, you know, you're saying something, and it's like, yeah, and everybody knows this. Like, where's I want to see this.
I'm incredibly happy with my job, and even in the face of times as hard as these, I really wouldn't want it any other way.
Mm-hmm.
So regardless of how I now feel about Selene having been my friend and having hurt me and my fellow livers in this way, her attempt on her life will never, ever be something to be taken lightly.
Yeah.
I recall the moment when I and other livers found out about what had happened, and we prayed for her safety then, and we still do. Regardless of the outcome of the situation, I genuinely want nothing more than for Selene to grow and to be in a safe place where she can look after her health, insofar as me and the rest of EN can heal in our own way too. To those of you watching...
Great. Okay, well then, all right. I mean, what's the... Okay, fuck, all right.
This stream, please leave her be. Harassment of any kind is vicious, and it's insane, and it has no place in this community. That's all I need to say. Thank you.
I think that what they're doing, this is what I would do if I was them, is that I would say that for the purpose of creating a narrative that because they don't want to see her get harassed, it gives them the moral high ground that if she criticizes them, she could be seen as harassing them. Like, I think that's kind of like, that's the play they're trying to make with saying something like that, especially whenever the public has kind of already decided what they think.
Thank you.
Thank you, Vox. Before we round things off, I also had something that I wanted to say. It's going to be a little bit on the shorter side. By the way, hi, I'm Mike. First off, I just wanted to say, like, preface this with, like, sorry if I have a hard time finding the proper...
So did they release her medical records? Like, did this happen? They released it to the other livers. So they released it to other streamers. Why? Because they're involved? They're involved with her medical records? Or are they doctors? So the other livers are doctors.
Words for anything. I'm a little bit all over the place right now.
Okay.
Excuse me for a second. For a very long time, I considered Selene as a good friend within NIJISANJI EN, be it on stream or off stream. We always managed to get on really well. So that's why it was so shocking for me to learn that Any Color had received these documents from Selene's lawyer. Learning about what was contained within these documents was, to me personally, incredibly saddening. Knowing that the things said within the document were coming from the very same person that I call my friend was hurtful and disappointing in a way I really don't know how to describe. Not only because of it made me now re-examine our entire friendship, but primarily because the document contains some information that we believe is incorrect, that could be harmful for us, and it's just private information that is very terrifying to have being, shown before you like that.
The NIJISANJI Twitter account released a statement after this video addressing this. So I thought they were the ones... I'm very confused about this. So, I thought they were the ones that released the document. What?
Right now, we're all very stressed. But in spite of this, I feel like the public deserves to, at the very least, be aware of the existence of these documents, as well as of...
Why? Like... I mean, this is like a private legal matter. And also, like, they were the ones that drew first blood. Didn't they release like a 3-page twit longer about why Selen sucked? Yeah, I mean, like, did the public need to know about all that? Just get rid of them. Holy shit.
Some of its contents.
It's like, do you know how many times I've, like, done things with people? Like, all of the people that I have been in relationships with, not romantically, but, like, just in relationships with and, like, over the years in streaming, I've never done that. I keep it to myself. And that's even me as a person. Never do that.
For the sake of transparency and honesty, we understand that the past week of radio silence has been really difficult for all of you, but please rest assured that we have been working very, very hard to try and understand what it is that we can and cannot say about this. But we wanted to make sure that what we shared was as much as we were able to share. Within NIJISANJI En, everyone always makes an effort to make sure that anyone who wants to be included in something has the opportunity to do so, whether that be online or offline. And all of us will continue to do our utmost to provide a safe and fun environment for fans to enjoy together. And lastly, to round this off, I want to reiterate, please do not spread hate to anyone involved in any way, shape, or form, or anyone in general, honestly. We ask that in these times you allow us to continue our activities without asking us for any additional information about the situation. At this point, it's an issue for the lawyers, and we ask that you do not pressure any of us to discuss the matter beyond this point. Please reach out to NIColor for contact regarding anything else. And I think
it's kind of like rat behavior for them to try to use existing content creators' platforms in order to spread this message. I think it's rat behavior because it entangles them in a problem that they might not necessarily be fully involved with. And so they're basically like, remember whenever Kanye West was like getting on stage, remember Taylor Swift won that award in like 2009? Like, this is basically the same thing. It's like, get off the fucking stage. Like, this isn't your platform. You don't need to talk about this, etc. Now people are attacking the truth. Yeah, and like this girl is now going to get attacked for this. And any of the other girls, and this is what they're going to do, right? They're going to use these people as target dummies and damage their reputations and then eventually phase them out and maintain the reputation of the company at the core, you know? I think that's kind of what's happening here.
That's everything from me. Thank you all for your time.
Show us 15K subs today.
Time.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And it's not like, and another thing, like, it's easy to say, like, oh, they can just say no. Like, oh, they really kind of can't, because, like, these companies literally own them, right? I mean, they can't really, like, it's not even, I don't even know if it, like, I don't know how involved this girl is in the situation. It's very hard to say. But, like, these people are not as involved as the management of the company. I'll tell you that. Look at the chat. I'll read the chat. L friends, so scripted. It obviously was scripted, especially the beginning part was. Why are you doing this not on the official NIJISANJI channel? Yeah, that's what I was saying, right? If it's for the lawyers, why make this statement then? Yeah, true. We respect everything that's her fault. Yeah, I feel bad for this girl. I do. Like, they just basically decided, like, hey, you get to tank this raid boss. There you go. Yeah, I know you're undergeared for it. It doesn't matter. Let's go. Come on. Come on. Let's go. We're gonna use you next. It does suck. Yeah, I feel bad for her, right? Because it's like, she really can't say no in this situation, and she's gonna get, like, just, like, shit on, like, minus 10, 15K subs for this, right? That's huge, man. That's a lot. And so they had another, so this is the following video. Is this one worth watching as well? This is the official YouTube video. Yeah, it is. Okay, well, let's go ahead and take a look at it. Here we go. There's a tweet. Oh, let me get to the tweet. How the fuck do you spell this bullshit name again? I don't remember. Oh, it's one of these, right? I can't fucking, I don't know what the hell that is. Okay, so here we go, and here's the tweet. Okay. Regarding concerns that have arisen in relation to the current situation. Oh my god. In the stream done earlier by our livers. It was mentioned that parts of the information received from Selin and her lawyer were shared to them by any color. I mean, I don't know about this. This sounds like a bit of bullshit, right? In the stream done earlier by our livers. And then that's the message, right? There's this. Well, it's not really done by her. It's done by the company through her. I mean, like, what the fuck? Okay, anyway. And her lawyer was shared to them by any color, as mentioned in that stream, and the notice published by any color. Notice termination. Satsuki's Selin and her lawyer claimed that livers affiliated with any color and corp were involved, and they will hold any color legally responsible. Selin and her lawyer mentioned the possibility that they will also hold livers associated with any color legally responsible. In order to check the validity of Selin and her lawyer's claim, any color shared only necessary parts of the information sent by her lawyer with our livers and led an internal investigation. Well, isn't that, and like, I mean, sharing somebody's medical information is like this is a legal offense, right? I mean, you can't do this in the U.S. People say you can't do it in the in Canada either, right? It's a breach of yeah, it's a big no-no. Yeah, of course, right? So they're basically saying that they broke the rule. So I mean, what are we even talking about here? Most countries, it's illegal as shit. Yeah, and it's like also, like, these are streamers. How the fuck are they going to be able to judge anything off of a medical document? They don't even have the foundation of a frame of reference to even know what's wrong. These are probably the same. I bet like probably the girls that they shared this with, or guys they shared this with, probably have looked up symptoms they've had and told themselves they had cancer because they had a headache. And so you're sharing this medical information with them? Why are you doing this? What's wrong with you? It's not like they're sharing this with a doctor. To begin with, any color has not made any confidentiality violations regarding the submitted documents for legal claims such as these. However, regarding the specific information and documents which someone's requested, we do not share with any livers. With utmost consideration, this request, any color has not shared any such information. What? However, regarding the specific information and documents which someone's requested, we don't share. So you shared the other ones, but not the ones they didn't want you to share? Okay. Yeah, for sure. In addition, our livers are not held to any confidentiality obligation regarding the information shared to them from any color. Well, yeah, and that's the problem with sharing the information that was supposed to be confidential to everybody in the company in the first place, right? Because if you share it to somebody else and then they don't have a confidentiality clause, well, then they can share it to everybody. Like, that's why, for example, yeah, now it's not confidential, and that's what they're doing. They do this on purpose. And so, like, here's a really great example that everybody probably recognizes. How many of you guys have had somebody come to your house, or you were at a store and you gave a place your phone number for, like, a new Windows or for any sort of home service, or maybe like, like anything like that, like anything, like a fake number? Yeah, well, let's say you give them a phone number, right? And then a year and a half down the line, you get a phone call from a place you've never talked to. Well, the reason why is, let me go ahead and explain the reason why this happens. And so we're going to make 3 different circles. So you have, let's see here. Okay. You gave your phone number to, and we're just going to make this a lot smaller. We'll go to like 20-point font. That should be fine. Okay, you gave your phone number to. Okay, so there's this. And then we have the second one. Their third-party partners. Okay, so this is what happens. This is company 1, this is company 2, this is company 3. And so there is confidentiality. I don't know how to spell this fucking word. There's too many things, too many words. So there's confidentiality here, and there is no confidentiality here. And so what ends up happening is you play a game of telephone that gets you annoyed. And so this is exactly what they're doing too. And so you give your phone number to the first company, then the company says that they reserve the right to share their data with their third-party partners, but then their third-party partners have their third-party partners that don't have the same confidentiality clause, and then before you know it, you're getting phone calls from a third fucking company, a third place that you didn't do anything with, you had nothing to do with, and they're giving you phone calls all the time trying to get you to buy something. So this is the problem here. So it's like, oh, well, we're keeping this confidential inside of the company, except for the fact that we're sharing it with people that don't have any sort of confidentiality clause. You don't see the problem with that? Holy shit. Like, it's so obvious. In addition, our liver is not withheld. Yeah, obviously, thus, there are no legal issues regarding the information shared to the public in the stream made by our livers. I think this is bullshit. And the reason why I think it's bullshit is because the livers are an intellectual property that's owned by the company. So for all intents and purposes legally, isn't the liver also the company? And just the person is representing the company through the liver? So what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you can't own the IP and then use the IP and then say it was somebody else. They're actually trying to do this? What the fuck are you doing? They're representatives of the company. Absolutely. They're owned by the company. The livers are employees? No. Do they have ownership of the channel? Who owns the channel? Does the liver own the channel, or does NIJISANJI own the channel? And does Rip Bozo own the channel? The company owns the channel. Okay, so then they are accountable for what happens on that channel, not the liver. This is insane. How could anybody... What are you talking about? Let's go back and read the rest of it. After a rigorous legal check, any color hereby declares that it has not made any confidentiality violations while checking the validity of claims made by Selen and her lawyer. Yes, let's assume that's true. You still fucked her. But you still did something that was wrong. Like, you don't get to go... Like, this might work in court. It might be like, oh yeah, we are not criminally liable. We are not legally liable to pay you a settlement. But that doesn't mean that you didn't fuck somebody over. You see what I'm saying? We investigated ourselves, reached the conclusion we did nothing wrong. Well, I mean, I don't think that the internal investigation is necessarily the problem. The problem is sharing the information with people that shouldn't have it, that don't have any confidentiality. So then you have a community note. The liver in question, Selen, on her new account, DokiBird, has confirmed that she was promised the information would only be shown to lawyers as it was an HR complaint. Sharing this information without consent may be a violation of PIPEDA, as DokiBird is Canadian. And what is this link here? Personal information protection of people's... In brief, what is this? So the act applies... what information is personal? Opinions, evaluations, comments. I mean, I feel like that's literally what it was, right? If that's classified as personal information, opinions of the individual, then there it is. And then also, like, you have medical records. To be honest with you, I thought the medical record thing was something totally different. Because, like, here in the US, usually you have, like, two different distinctions. You have, like, corporate distinction and, like, medical distinction, and they're different. But, like, maybe in Canada, they do it. I don't live in Canada. I'm not sure. But, like, I just thought it was two separate things. But, yeah, it does seem to be also the same thing. So... She stated her diagnosis and hospital visit were shared. Well, then they're wrong. Like, I think that what's really shocking to me about this, so this is what's so crazy, is that they think that there's no problem sharing information that's confidential with people that aren't bound by confidentiality. And then on top of that, because they're not bound by confidentiality, then they can say whatever they want. But there is no they. Like, for example, Elira Pandora is an IP owned by NIJISANJI. That's like Dr. Disrespect going and robbing a bank and saying, it wasn't me, it was Doc. Doc did this. No, Doc did this. I didn't do this. This is the other guy. Get the fuck out of here. Sounds like something you would do. It probably, yeah, and it would be funny. But this isn't as funny. And so, yeah, what the fuck is this? It's crazy. And people buy into this shit? I bet nobody does, right? That's not how that works. You guys are really said we're not in legal trouble in as many words as you can. Yeah, like, who cares about legal trouble? Confidential is confidential. You can't share this information with third parties without redacting it. Poor choice. And there goes to Yacht. It just hit an iceberg. Quicker response from you yet. Place must be on fire. Oh my god. The biggest deja vu. Saul Goodman needs to be on the case. I just... I don't even know what to say. Like, this is just like...